Okay, we are on. That was the abbreviated version because who needs a long intro anyway, guys?
Sorry.
I'm Johnny Rooster. Hey, guys, this is Wednesday. One of our people in the studio, guess which one, doesn't know what day it is, and that's okay. You can pick out of the four of us sitting here which one doesn't know what day it is. You're right. It's Niki Carter. Niki is the co-host every month here on the Johnny Rooster Morning Mouth. What we do is we talk about entrepreneurs and people that have their own business, so that's the right place to be. We talk about nonprofit organizations, blah, 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 and we talk about performing artists. So, yes, sir, Matt Pearson is in the house. He's bringing me my wicked device. I took a lot of pictures of this guy coming up. His name is Jeff Ward. He is a guitar player for the Dirty Saints. A lot of people in Springfield are quite familiar with that. The reason, and the other young man here, you can wave, is my son Luke. Luke is also a guy that plays guitar and has been involved in a band, and we need to adjust the camera because Luke is off camera. So my apologies, because Steve-O Mickey Mac McAllister walked by with his cane and whacked the leg of that camera so hard that you could feel it in Cincinnati.
That's a long ways off.
That's definitely a long ways off.
I feel like I did my marathon. So you guys are ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jeff might be a man of fewer words than I, but he's definitely makes a presence on the stage. Niki, have you heard the Dirty Saints 80s rock cover band?
I have heard of them. I've not seen them, though.
Yeah, I was
What?
I was in your
What? I know.
category. It happens. I've
So
heard.
that means we need to get you out there more.
That's right.
Right?
Well, you know, they have been out there quite a bit lately. In fact, the last 3-day stretch, you guys, what were you doing?
We
4th
did-
of July week.
Friday, we did a big reunion fest in Marshfield, which is my hometown. Saturday, we did Branson Landing for the fireworks show, and they estimated, I think, 40,000 total people down at the landing.
And out of that many people, you saw me, didn't you?
I did see you.
I went right up front with my Rolling Stones T-shirt.
I did see you snapping the photos, and then, of course, on Sunday on the 4th, we did the Springfield Cardinals after show, and I got to play the national anthem before the game. That's kind of nerve-wracking because don't want to mess that up.
No, you don't. I think you did really well.
So,
I saw
yeah,
that.
it turned out good.
You
really
got
well.
a significant other.
Yeah, Kristen Denar. Yeah,
She's involved in music.
yeah. We also have a band called Damsel, and she actually sang "God Bless America" in the 7th inning at the Cardinals game Sunday. So that's pretty cool.
Was it enough to save the Cardinals?
Oh yeah, they won.
That's a good thing because they don't always do that.
No, Springfield or St. Louis right now is kind of in the tank, but
I was quite an honor to be able to play at that game
It
and be
was.
part of that patriotic event.
Yeah.
On the 4th of July itself. Luke, tell us a little about your background with music or your interest.
Well, I mean, I'm back from Colorado for 4 years. Well, I was out in Colorado for 4 years, and during that time, I was in my own band doing originals and covers of like bands.
Matthew,
like,
can you grab us 2 more water bottles? Sorry, I
No, you're
interrupt my
good. No,
son.
you're good. We did covers of like Red Hot Chili Peppers, System of a Down, kind of more harder 90s rock. And but we also wrote our own stuff too. And we have an EP out on pretty much anywhere you can get your music, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere, all that. It's called Faulty Wiring. And then moved out here. Just got a little bit too expensive out there in Colorado. Everyone loves it out there. Everyone loves their lives. And so everyone pays a lot more for living. So
One of those things I was noticing is you were interested in pursuing writing music.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a writer. I've always had my guitar ever since I was 16. Got started playing the guitar. I always had one, but 16 is when I started learning. I'm not the best, but I'm progressing little by little. Just now knocked down the bar chord hurdle. You know,
Yeah.
every musician has those hurdles that they get to, or those plateaus. I just finished learning bar chords and getting over that hurdle to where I can just play them easily now instead of just like struggling and looking at the fretboard and all that. So, yeah.
It's a learning process for sure. I was in a band in the 90s, but it wasn't anything amazing. It was just original. So we were pushing all of our own music in a crowd that was just hungry for something, but they didn't know what it was. And they started being our little groupies, but it was really amazing to be able to push what you do without a lot of money. It's just going for it and having a good time.
right.
Nikki,
Yes.
involved in real estate with EXP, but
Yes.
you've got your own thing going.
I have a lot of things.
It's like
going.
Niki Carter Realty.
And you guys are all
Group.
talking about your music. You
Yeah.
didn't ask if I played
Okay,
music.
now let's get in on this. What is your musical connection? Play
Well,
the
my
tambourine?
connection. I did a saxophone in the 80s, but that was in band and I left it there, right? But anyway.
Left the saxophone in the
There's a
80s.
saxophone in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good saxophone music back there. I think there
Sure.
was on professional recordings anyway.
Yeah, on professional recordings. That wasn't in my basement.
Oh.
I tried the guitar, but never picked it up. I do have a Gibson. It has my name on it and it hung on the wall for a while.
Well, it's like the Dirty Saints. I've heard of the Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson's a pretty nice guitar. Would you not agree?
I've never played one.
I try to learn.
I
Maybe
might
I should
be
have brought
lying.
mine. I should have
I've
brought
got a
mine.
He's got a few. Yeah, how many guitars do you own?
I've whittled it down. I had 22 at one time. I think I've got 18 right now.
Do you name them?
No,
No, it's
Never
not
have-
like a car.
never have named them.
No,
no.
okay. So you got a lot of Gibsons.
Yeah, I've got 3 Gibsons, and I've got a custom made. There's a guitar shop in Springfield called Conklin Guitars,
Yes.
and Bill Conklin had been on me for years. A friend of mine wanted to, what's it going to take to get one of those in your hands on stage in front of everybody? I said, one that I can afford. And
Mhm.
so he actually custom made one for me and put the Dirty Saints emblem across it, and
That'll do it.
and got it affordable for me, and I played it quite a bit.
Yeah, I've noticed sponsors like to have their names on equipment on stage.
Yeah.
I saw maybe bass player Scott Henry might have Bass Pro Shops on his bass,
Yeah,
which you can call it Bass Pro.
yeah. I'm not sure that they
I'm not
said
sure
to
they-
do that, but he just did it.
I don't think they're offended.
Probably not.
He plays all right.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
If you stink it up, maybe they do care.
Yeah.
Fender. Oh, yeah, because I
I'm
don't
trying
know.
to think. I don't know
What
what
is that?
brand that it actually is,
don't-
to be honest. I think it's
Yeah.
an old Ibanez, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he is an old Ibanez himself.
Yeah.
That's Scott Henry.
Depending on how much he's had to drink.
Yeah. Scott only needs one T in his first name.
Yeah,
so.
that's how important he is.
Well, we got a 10-second break here at the 10. Here we go. Yeah, that was Queen City Insane Asylum. Did you guys know about that? The semi-pro football team here in Springfield.
I didn't know they had one.
Kind of like the Dirty Saints with Nikki. She's heard of them, but she's
Heard
never
of
seen
them.
them.
I've never seen them. I didn't know we had a semi-pro football. I knew we had a semi-pro basketball.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing? So H2O Zone owner Caleb Scott also owns the Springfield team called Queen City, which is Springfield. Insane Asylum, which makes me think of Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What up?
Yeah.
This is nuts. And their color is like this really between pink and purple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bold, wild group. There's some strong guys out there, and they're working hard to make that work. I don't know anything about it, but it's our sponsor. We're giving away $100 this week on their behalf. So if
Cool.
you've
Awesome.
got a business, let's say pest control, for example, and you want to donate $100 to the Axe Media Group, this is a 501c3 nonprofit. We give away 100, or we give away different amounts to different winners every week, so we
Gotcha.
can divide it up.
Yeah, we could probably do something like
So
that.
we do something like that. And we mention you all week long.
Gotcha.
So we call about that. Now, Jeff, you do have your own pest control business. Please
Yeah,
tell us briefly about that so we can know how to reach that.
It is a Priority Pest Control, and I co-own it with a guy named Philip Shane, and we've been in business for almost 20 years. I've been co-owner for 15 of that, and
The name of it is,
Priority Pest Control.
okay, so if you're looking it up, go Priority Pest Control, Springfield, Missouri.
That's it. And we've got 9 technicians, I believe.
Yes, yes.
So,
Well, we're eager to hear about the Dirty Saints because you kind of came about from another group and it kind of blended in. Is
Yep.
that how it started? So Dirty Saints is an 80s tribute band,
Yes.
80s rock tribute.
yeah, we dip in a little bit of 90s and 70s, but I'd say 95% 80s
Yeah.
rock covers. And
So that was coming about from yourself and Scott, or was that over with Dirk, or how did that start?
Well, Scott and Dirk have played together, gosh, since the early 80s. And my drummer and I have been together since probably the mid 80s. And so once my old band Bad Habit dissolved after 20 some years, I just got with those guys and we just put it all together. And then we found Richard, the keyboard player, and it's been that formula ever since.
That's a long time to have a band.
Yeah, we've been together 8 years now, I believe.
Yes. So after 20 some years with another band, what was the dynamic that changed that, where that band didn't continue?
Well, we had
Tell us the truth.
we had a female singer named Tara, and she decided to pursue another career in singing, and I just didn't want to hodgepodge put something back together with that band name on it, and I just want to start something fresh.
Now, Niki, from my perspective, it's not a very humble one. I think that where there's women, there's drama, and where there's drama, there's chaos.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
There we go.
And you won't hear that again from another woman for a long time.
But at least
you're right.
You realize that.
No,
how do men and women coexist on stage? That is a tough deal.
Takes lots of practice.
I'm just jumping in a band with the guys right here. That would be
Yeah.
me.
I would say that takes practice.
It does. It takes a lot of
practice.
patience on the part of the woman too.
Both,
Just
yes.
dealing with the guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you guys are
Yes.
not always easy.
No, we're not. We're very specific in what we do, and we don't
Right.
listen.
And even with Damsel, with Kristen, there's been a couple times on stage already that we butted heads a few times,
Absolutely.
and
That's the way it goes.
but she usually listens to me because she knows I'm always right.
Oh, are you the one who's driving home, or somebody?
Me.
Okay, that usually helps.
Yeah.
Nikki, you can do whatever you want. It's your show too.
Oh, no.
Say
no.
whatever you got to say.
Well, women are more emotional, right?
Mhm.
Which is what brings on the chaos.
Mm.
I mean, that's just where it comes
Bring
from.
it on the heart. I'm not going to try to sing.
You don't want
Bring
me
it
to
on the
sing.
heartache. Tunes come to my head all the time. Do they come to your head
Oh, yeah.
all the time? If there's a situation in real life, don't you just throw in
Mhm.
your lyric? That's why
Sometimes,
music
yeah.
is powerful.
It is powerful.
Especially I would say out of the three of us, I'm the biggest fan. You're the most accomplished, and you're the most original enthusiast. And you are a woman, so that brings a whole new dynamic. So
I
being
am a woman, yes.
being outnumbered in this very warm room, I was going to say, is the
I'm-
AC? Are you guys good? Because I'm like burning up.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Good.
See,
And I
so
know,
you're the
Luke,
nervous one.
you're always.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. I just probably have higher blood pressure in my mind. It's like, okay, so I know Kelly Bowman. He's
Mhm.
the
He's just a
drummer.
hothead.
Correct.
Kelly Bowman is not a young person.
Kelly is, I think he just turned 50.
Okay, so he has a little more oomph to him than what I thought. I thought
Yeah.
he might be an older guy, but he is relentless.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a monster drummer.
He is.
Of course, he works for the Missouri Highway Patrol
Oh.
and has a desk job. And I told him that it's starting to show.
He's needing to
Because
work that
he
a
got
little
big,
harder. Yeah,
And
he's
but
getting bigger, so I wasn't sure what his age is.
and in school, of course, I've known him forever. I mean, he was as tall as he is now because he's tall. He's 6'3" or so.
Yeah,
But he might have weighed 160 pounds.
really. Well,
skinny.
he's big guy now.
And he used to have hair down past his butt.
He's got no hair now.
No, he
he's-
keeps her slick.
But he sings the AC/DC raspy
does.
Brian Johnson
He does.
style vocals.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good.
And tell me, then there's Richard Kittleman,
We've had-
keyboard.
I've known Richard for several years. I knew he played keys, and he's multi-talented. He plays bass, guitar, keys. And when we put this together, we were looking for a good keyboard player, and we auditioned a few, and they just weren't what we were.
He
wanting.
comes across musically intelligent to me. and
He very much
by
so
that I mean
is.
he knows exactly what's going on.
He certainly does. And so I said, well, I know this guy, and we auditioned him, and he came prepared, and that's the one.
Yeah, Richard's good.
yeah.
He's with another band, isn't he?
We plays in Damsel with
Okay,
me also, and
okay.
but he's kind of somebody calls him, hey, can you fill in, do this? If we're not, yeah, he'll go
Yeah.
in and fill in. He says
Well, he's your Eddie Van Halen right there.
he's got the knowledge,
Got
to
that.
get
Well, then we've got Dirk Allman.
hmm
Now that guy has got some classic vocals,
yeah,
and he looks cool.
and he's 61 years old,
Yeah,
and,
and this guy looks he looks cool.
and still hits the high notes, and
Yeah.
we don't tune down. A lot of the 80s bands used to tune down a half a step, and we don't.
Man, you sing it right on the.
Yeah, he's totally the real deal. But we all used to have hair down past our
Yeah.
waistline and all teased up with the
Yeah.
Aquanet back in the day. And
So I guess Scott Henry, he's the bass player. He's
Yep.
still looking at the hair.
he's still got
and Richard's still rocking the hair.
right. Yeah. Scott, we kind of refer to him as the shaggy dog sometimes, but
He's a lot of he's a bundle of energy.
he
He's
is
like a Labrador.
he really is. He goes nuts a lot of times, and
He's excited.
yeah,
There's not a bass player that hangs back in this band. This guy's right up there.
yeah, he gets with it and backing vocals and sings some lead vocals.
What do you have to ask Jeff about music or anything in your head?
Well, I mean, it's pretty all like it. Does it get any easier performing on stage, or like the nervousness before stage? I guess.
I used to, the first big crowd I ever played for, I got really nervous, and that was back years ago when I was playing country music, believe it or not, back in the 90s. Because once 80s rock died, I didn't want to play grunge, so I went to playing 90s country, and we opened for some national acts and stuff. But yeah, it gets easier, and now like the big crowds like a Branson Landing and the ball game and stuff, that didn't bother me at all. We've got Route 66 festival coming up in August. That's another big deal. And
Awesome.
actually, I'm more comfortable playing in front of a bunch of people than I am just a handful.
I'm kind of that way too, as far as I'd like to project to a bigger audience, and I get nervous one-on-one or small groups. It's like, oh, now I got to do something. Like this group of 4, I would rather have it 4,000 because the anonymity of it, when you don't have to know everybody,
Mhm.
I can relax.
Right. Yeah.
But when you know people, you got to kind of help them. And Nikki, how are you with groups?
I'm good with groups.
Are you one-on-one, or do you like the bigger groups?
Both. Neither one really bother me. So
That's a woman.
Yeah.
You know it. You got it.
We got the talker going, right? So I talk to people one-on-one. I can talk in groups. I've talked in seminars. I'm regional director for Power Girls, which is a group of about 5,000 ladies that we speak in front of. And I used to do women's retreats. And yeah, speaking doesn't really bother me.
That's a wonderful gift. And you're able
Gift
to
of
accomplish.
gab.
You were deciding what you wanted to do. Your husband gave you the okay. It's okay. Do what you want. And you decided real estate, and you're
Yeah.
making it work.
Yeah.
In this crazy market.
It is a crazy market. And
Speaking of a crazy market, we'll be right back, and we'll talk to you about that after
right.
this very brief break.
People that have mental illness are not weak. They're the strongest people I know because we've had to endure so much.
And we are back. It's Johnny Rooster Morning Mouth. We coming at you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on AMG Broadcasting. That's the YouTube channel. If you're tuning in on Facebook, that is Axe Media Group. And that's not the chopper. That's the book in the Bible, Axe Media Group. And that is how you find us. We are also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and we also reset and play on Daily Motion, which is in Paris, France. We are worldwide. It's always good to see everybody out there. And we want you to know today we're talking about entrepreneurs that have their own business and then performing artists. So today we got Niki Carter. She is the co-host. She's telling about what she's doing in real estate. And then we have Jeff Ward, and he is the guitar player for the Dirty Saints 80s rock tribute band. And then my son Luke, and he is also a musician. And let's see, Niki, you were saying about what you're doing. Go ahead with that.
Go ahead with that.
Go ahead with
so,
that.
Crazy market. You guys are always asking what the market's doing,
Mhm.
what the market's doing. And we have seen a crazy influx, obviously, in buyers paying over asking price.
Yes.
Taking out home inspections, waiving appraisals, and doing things that I would never, ever, ever suggest. So, as a matter of fact, I've even talked a few buyers out of buying right now just because I don't think those things are a good fit for them currently. So I don't know a lot of agents that will talk people out of buying, but
So you're wise enough to understand that they're getting into something they probably shouldn't.
they will hate me in 5 years if
So
I
then
just
you
sold that
better
house to them.
Talk reason to them today.
Yeah.
That's hard because you want a sale, but you don't want to hurt people.
No, I want the best for you. When you're buying a house, I want to know in 5 years you're still going to be happy with me and not think I took advantage.
That's
So,
good because
yeah.
you're connected to your clients,
Yes.
and they
Very
stay.
much.
You're still in the area, and you still have to see people.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
you're
don't
selling
have
them.
to see you.
You're
I
not
mean,
like
I
you're-
can hang out like a hermit and take the day off
Oh.
and skip a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
because
not like you're not seeing them ever again, and like okay, just sell them online. And this
No.
is a very personal experience.
It is a very personal experience. So I will say though, if you are looking at selling your house, I would say to go out and jump on it now. Let us talk to you because the market is shifting yet again. I really watch Seattle area because what Seattle does, we get the trickle back usually
It's
within
like the
a couple
jet
weeks.
stream.
It's a jet stream.
Yeah.
It comes from the northeast,
Northwest,
yeah,
and then we
and
come
comes
back.
down. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So
but
what is going on in Seattle with the real
it's
estate?
slowing down and it's starting to stabilize a little bit. So even last time we spoke, I told you our normal market is 5,000 to 6,000 houses
5,000 to
available.
6,000 houses in the Springfield area.
Well, not just Springfield. That's more our region in Missouri.
Okay.
So from Joplin to West Plains, halfway to Kansas City to Arkansas. So really, this
Normally
whole
5,000 to 6,000.
5,000 to 6,000. We got down to 1,100. We're back up to 1,600. So we're
Okay.
not there, but it is starting to climb again. So
Okay.
people are starting to list their house.
Well, if you sell your house, where do you move? That's the big thing that I hear homeowners saying. Like, I could sell it for a lot of money, but then where would I live?
Where do I go? Where do I go? So
That's the
I do
dilemma.
have some alternatives for that. However, that is the big reason.
You have camping tents, or what is it that you got?
I do have camping tents. I don't advise it, but
Okay.
we got them.
I've seen those in San Francisco or Portland or something.
Yeah. got
Go
'em.
ahead. But you were saying, so what are some alternatives if you sell your house? Where do you go?
There's contingencies that we can put into your offer. So we can tell the people who's buying your house that you want to rent back from them for a period of time. We can do an extended closing. We can do a bridge loan where they're able to go ahead and find another house before they sell theirs and still obtain just one house. So that's really more of a one-on-one because there's so many different
There
scenarios.
are a lot of scenarios.
There's not a one size fits all, but it's things that a lot of people wouldn't think you could do or never have heard of.
Your assistant, Trey Scoggins, is an amazing helper.
He is a good helper.
It's good to have a scout out there or somebody like, what is he? Is he like finding things or what is he doing? What part of that?
Well, I will tell you this, Trey went out on his own.
Yes.
So he's
So
not
he's
part of
inde-
the team anymore.
So he is now an independent. He's all grown up now.
He's all grown up. He says,
Okay.
Nikki, I've learned a lot. Thank you. And
Thank
I
you for
still
your
tell
help.
him to
I'm
come
gonna
back
be-
to me. Yeah, I still
I'll be
say,
your worst competition now. Look out. You taught me
"No,
everything.
I've taught him well, so he won't be the worst competition. However, they've got some family changes on the horizon and he wanted to give it a go and see what
He's
it does. So
getting
he has my
married in
blessing.
October.
He is getting married.
She's a lovely wife. I hope she's really realizing she's marrying a Marine and he's going to be opinionated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's a little opinionated too. She's very
Okay.
sweet, but
Maybe
I
they
think
can
she can hold her own. She's an engineer.
I'm just going to see 2 frying pans in that kitchen.
I don't think he'd ever do
I
that
got a little
to her.
Scott Henry in me.
Yeah, that's
I don't
okay.
think he'd ever do that to her. But anyway.
Well, that's
No.
just fun. It's kind of
So
like,
we are looking at some other people. So if you are a real estate agent looking to join a team, I will be happy to.
so you got a big
interview
old gap in the team now that Trey's gone.
you. Yeah.
Or a little
Yeah,
gap.
just
He's
a
not
little
that
gap.
big. He's
I-
not big.
Did it for a long time on my own, so
I
I
know.
got it. I got this.
I know. You and your little lap dog.
Yeah, she's sad. She had to stay home today.
This woman's notorious for carrying a lap dog. I find that extremely snobbish.
Bougie.
Yeah. So what's your favorite music? Is it 80s rock?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
well,
going to be mine.
yeah, hands down. Yeah,
What about you, Luke? 'Cause you're
A little
younger.
bit, well, I like rock music, but more 90s, I guess.
Well, that's pretty
Like
old
Red Hot
school
Chili
of you.
Peppers
Yeah, because
style.
you were
That's
born
what I
in
like.
'98, so that's pretty old school for you. I like the music later than when I was born because I was in high school and college in the '80s, and that just really resonated with me. But I was listening to Christian rock back then, and then I got into the regular, real world rock, as I call it, as an adult, and I really appreciate that style.
Mhm.
I think Journey,
Yeah.
Def Leppard, those are some of my favorite bands.
yeah, same here.
Yeah. So I think, and I'm 55, you're 55.
Yep.
We getting along, man.
Yeah, yep.
This is our culture.
It's right
And
in.
it bothers me that people have kind of sidestepped that with technology. And I don't know how to describe it, but digital technology seemed to not grassroots the music the same way. It doesn't have the same feel for me.
It doesn't mean I'm the same way.
You only knew digital music, but that's you're listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers. So
I can kind of see it from both sides, like 80s and before. You did it organically. You actually had to be good. You couldn't really take a whole bunch of takes necessarily. You had to get it
well,
right.
you could
kinda-
if you want to
kinda
spend forever.
immediately. But that was not typically what bands went out to do. They just wanted to get it done kind of more faster than normal. And now with our digital age, like post 2000s. I feel like a lot of bands or a lot of artists, they just want to add on as much as they can. Like not necessarily like, oh, I can have 10 guitars instead of one because it sounds cooler. But not necessarily they can't play that live necessarily.
Tell Jeff what happened in your studio in Colorado.
Well, I mean,
because
my
they're all
band-
young guys and they want to do something big on the sound.
Yeah. The band that I was in, the reason why we kind of dissolved was, I mean, they wanted to be studio musicians rather than performers. And I was definitely wanting to be a performer because I was the front man, lead singer. I wrote a good 85-90% of the songs, and they would just play what I would bring to the table. That was most of the time. But when we were actually trying to work on our first full-length album, we got to recording it ourselves, doing everything ourselves. And the more that my band did that, like recorded our own, they're like, you know what? This is more fun than actually going out and performing. And which to each their own. It's all good. I mean, they are going to be happier doing what they do. And
so you guys parted ways based on that a lot.
Right. They didn't. I'll just like, in the end, I would like these songs that I've written at least to be performed. I didn't really create them to die in a band that's not going to perform anymore. They wouldn't necessarily die, but I wanted to perform these songs and not write new ones because when I write, it's some sort of sentimental value to the song.
I kind of got goosebumps, not just because you're my son, but because you're a person that's actually describing your music being out there. And I can't imagine what it might be like to be in Journey and write those songs, or Neil Sean or somebody like that, and they have it go popular. Right. And that you're doing that only because that's what you want. You don't want somebody to bury it in the studio. Oh,
yeah. To me, if you don't perform live and you know, adding all those extra guitar tracks and things, the only way you can reproduce that live is to have those tracks put on, and one little glitch in that, and then you've got the band doing this and this is doing this, and we got accused after it was about 3 years ago at the Route 66 festival. Somebody had heard us for the first time. He says, well, the reason they're so good is because you're using a bunch of tracks. We use 0 tracks.
Wow. Because it sounded so full.
And everybody got on this guy, and he says, oh, I stand corrected. And
it is amazing how much sound you can get out of one guitar.
Yeah.
You personally.
And there's two other popular 80s bands in town. They do use tracks, and they don't deny it. And hey, whatever makes it work. But
you guys have all of the music.
Yeah.
That no tracks.
0 tracks.
We'll be right back with this track after this. You know, Rural Adventures is a page on Facebook that I created, and that is our property. Luke grew up there too. I built a house on this 40-acre site my parents own, and it is about 35 minutes southeast of Springfield, or 15 minutes east of Ozark, on the other side of Sparta, as they say. It's a beautiful property, and we're looking for groups to come out and enjoy an experience that could be team building. They can explore the cave, they can do tug of war, capture the flag, that type of activities. But we're going to sprinkle in a lot of fun because Johnny Rooster is all about something unusual. Nikki, you know this, being a co-host. We had an online auction one time that didn't exist, but we had a made-up auction.
Had fun with it.
It was a lot of fun. We were auctioning off items that really weren't being auctioned off. But the goal is to get people interested in participating, and that group activity would be perfect from April through November. We have that available for groups. So check out the page Rural Adventures on Facebook for more information on that. We are talking to Jeff Ward. He is the guitar player for a band. It's called the Dirty Saints. Now, the type of music you play is mainly 80s rock.
Correct.
And you guys decided on that because that's what you enjoy. You're doing what you love.
Right.
And everybody in the band seems to love that genre of music.
Yeah. And that's, it's what we did back in the 80s. And we always tell everybody that we are the real deal. We don't wear any fancy 80s clothes or wigs to hype it up. We just go out there and play the music.
What's your connection or do you have a good relationship with the other bands that wear the wigs? And
Oh
do
yeah,
the
yeah,
hype?
yeah, definitely. So members only, they're good friends of ours. Machine Gun Symphony's another bunch that's good friends
Yeah.
of ours, and we have actually done performances with Machine Gun. We have yet to. Well, I guess technically we did a performance last summer with members in Aurora, Missouri. They had some big event they played after we did, but as far as us, like we play at the Riff in Springfield usually one Saturday per month, and members only also plays there, and so it's kind of hard. They're on a different night. It'd be kind of cool to get both of them together in one
I think
night.
it would. I'm an audience member of all of those bands, and I really appreciate what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a noble thing for younger people to do.
Yeah, it really is.
Keep that alive.
Yep, sure enough.
Because they want to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Now Scott Mason, he's the drummer for the members only.
Oh,
band.
Steve. Yeah, Steve. Yeah.
Steve. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually used to work for me doing pest control too. Also,
he's a good guy.
A great drummer and good
he's
friend.
He's a little
of mine.
older than the others.
Yeah, he's 50, 51, somewhere around there.
So
but
when you're talking about playing
you guys
80s,
are talking.